Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have proof that the New Orleans Saints are not the worst team in the NFL. Okay, so for the last couple of weeks here, I've come on this platform and I've told you that the Saints aren't great, below average, maybe average, but they certainly are not the runaway worst team in the NFL. I've said it's insane. Right? I've said it's crazy. So that doesn't make any sense. How can they be the far and away the worst team in the NFL when teams like the Carolina Panthers or the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns exist, right? So today, Bill Barnwell from ESPN put out his yearly Playmaker rankings. Okay, the Playmaker rankings goes through each team's rushers and pass catchers to see which teams give their quarterbacks the best playmakers at running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Okay, so it's a grouping ranking of, just like it says, playmakers. All right, I'm not talking about the hit ESPN show from like 2004 with also the name Playmaker. That show was awesome. Now, where do you think the Saints rank? All right, now remember, now we have, and I've pulled up, offensive line rankings, roster rankings, secondary rankings, receiving corp rankings, linebacker unit rankings. We've got all this stuff, and we have DVOA. All right, this is all from PFF or ESPN or DVOA is where we're all looking today. Okay, where do you think the Saints are? And who do you think is last? Who do you think is 31st? Who do you think is 30th? All right, let's look through it. Number 30. Well, I thought it was going to be the other way around. 32 is Tennessee. All right, number 31 is Carolina. Well, hold on a second. All right, we keep hearing about how good Carolina is going to be and how great they are and how awesome Bryce Young is and how awesome Chuba Hubbard is and how awesome Tet McMillan is and how awesome all these players are, who I've said are all suspect at best. So they're 31. All right, Carolina's 31. New England's 30. Well, wait a minute. They have Stephon Diggs. Wait a second. What's going on here? I thought New England's supposed to be really good. Cleveland's 29. Buffalo's 28. Well, wait a minute. Buffalo's really good. I thought Buffalo was going to... The Jets are 27. Wait, I thought the Jets got an A+ for their offseason grade. How are they 27? The Giants are 26, but the Giants have Malik Neighbors. How are they 26? The Bears, the Bears. I thought Ben Johnson went to the Bears. They have all those cool guys. They drafted Colson Loveland in the first round. And the Saints are 24. All right? 24. Higher than I thought it was going to be. We'll read the Saints recap real quick. It's tough to figure out what to do with Chris Olave, who finished 4th in ESPN's receiver score, but was limited to 6 games and a handful of snaps and 2 others by concussions, with the star wideout having suffered 4 in 3 years. He's a legitimate number 1 when on the field, but it's impossible to form any realistic projection for how often we'll see the 25-year-old. Okay. Deep threat Rashid Shaheed has been extremely efficient when healthy, but he missed the final 11 games. The Saints made a move to address their depth by bringing in Brandon Cooks, but the well-traveled receiver has seen his per-route metrics crater over the past 3 years, even while spending 2023 and 2024 in a pass-happy Cowboys offense. As for Alvin Kamara, it might be time to face a reality. He has spent half his career with Hall of Famer Drew Brees and half without, and outside of the occasional bright spell, such as his hot 2-game start last year, he has been a different running back without an elite passing game making his life easier. Though he is still an effective receiver on a per-route basis by running back standards, he's probably miscast as a 3-down back when be far more effective as the receiving back in a rotation. Okay. Now, is all that fair? Well, whatever. But the point is, 24. Now, remember, my whole argument this entire time isn't that the Saints are great. It's not even that the Saints are good. It's that this notion that they're just LOL suck, Keck W suck, that's crazy. And it has been the copy and paste. It's the worst copy pasta I've seen since Pokemon's Twitch chat. But the copy pasta has been Saints suck, 30-second, not even spending time providing analysis. That has been every single video we have seen for seriously probably 3 straight weeks. Okay? So let's look at it in totality. Just think about the Saints for now. 24th Playmaker ranking. Offensive line. You've got 32 are the Texans, 31's the Bengals, 30's the Seahawks, 29's the Patriots, 28's the Giants, 27's the Browns, 26 the Jags, 25 the Dolphins, the Titans, Cowboys, Saints at 22. Okay, a lot of those teams are really bad in the Playmaker ranking as well. roster ranking. Saints are 30. Okay, this is PFF. So roster ranking, Saints are 30, Titans 31, Browns 32, 29 is Carolina, in case you're wondering. 28 is the Jets. Secondary rankings. Where do you think the Saints rank on the secondary? Ask yourself that. Oh, I shouldn't have pulled it up. 32, Raiders, 31, Dallas, 30, Carolina. Man, I tell you what, for all the people saying Carolina's going to have a big year, they sure are low in all these rankings. Dolphins 29, Commanders 28, Vikings 27, Cardinals 26, Bengals 25, Giants 24, Niners 23, Bucks 22, Titans 21, Saints are 20. Okay? Receiving core. See where their Saints are. So Eagles, Bucks, Bengals, Lions, Niners, Vikings, Dolphins, Rams, Bears, Texans, Falcons, Ravens, Commanders, Chiefs, Cowboys, Jaguars, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Seahawks, Packers, Broncos, Saints at 23. Giants, Raiders. Man, Carolina, again, they're 26 in this. Are they good at anything? The Jets, 28. Jesus. The Patriots at 31. The Patriots have been bad at everything. The Browns, they're 32 again. Damn. Titans, damn, 30. Linebacker rankings. Where are the Saints on this one? Eagles, Lions, Patriots, Chiefs, Commanders, Jaguars, Niners, Saints. 8th? Let's see who's bottom of the barrel. Carolina, who would have guessed it? Carolina's 30, Colts are 31, Titans are 32, Cardinals are 29. So if you look at it across the board, let's just go to DVOA for fun. This is last year, so got to put an asterisk on it because a lot of stuff changes, but let's just take a look. Total team DVOA. Cleveland 32, Tennessee 31, Carolina 30, New England 29, the Giants 28. A lot of those same teams we saw in those rankings, right? What about defensive? Let's just do defensive first. Overall defensive DVOA from last year, Carolina 32, Jacksonville 31, New England 30, Atlanta 29, Giants 28. What about offensive? Let's take a look at that. Offensive DVOA, we've got Cleveland 32, Tennessee 31, New England 30, Raiders 29, Giants 28, Bears 27, so on and so forth. Carolina 24. This really shows you for a team that is and you can go through. So this is PFF. You can go on PFF and do this for every position. Okay, so you can go to NFL. They do the rankings everywhere. Like you go to center. Oh, this is the roster ranking. Let's try and find the center one. Let's see here. You can do the individual positions if you want. This is running back, wide receiver, tight end, tackle, guard, center. So if you go to center, Creed Humphrey, Tyler Lindenbaum, Zach Frazier, Eric McCoy, number 4. Let's see who's 32. Yeah, Frank Ragnow retired, so Detroit's 32. Seattle's 31. Colts are 30. Falcons are 29. Texans 28. So on and so forth. 26. Giants 25. Patriots. Carolina's 22 in this one. So you can kind of go on there and play around a little bit. But if you look at across the board, the one thing you do not see a lot of is the Saints ranking poorly. The only thing they really ranked poorly in was this roster ranking where they were 30. Okay? So if you look at the rest of them, so Playmaker, they're 24. What is this one? Offensive line, they're 22. Center, they're 4. Secondary, they're 20. Receiving core, they are... Where were they on the receiving core? 23. Linebacker ranking, they're 8. So, and then DVOA, if you look at DVOA from last year, was this offensive? Offensively, they were 23. And defensively, I think they were like, let's see, so 23 on offense and 21 on defense. Okay. So where is this narrative coming from that they are far and away the 32nd team in the NFL? They are far and away the worst team in the NFL when not a single ranking or projection reflects that. Not one. There is not the only projection that you can find that will have the Saints at 32 is projecting out quarterbacks because people just don't know who's going to be starting. So they just project it out at 32. That's it. That's the only thing you'll find. Everything else is either above it kind of goes all over the place. Like, linebacker is 8, center is 4. Everything else is like low 20s. It's like slightly below average. Okay. So, again, let's look at the Saints. 24, 22, 30, 4, 20, 23, 8. And then 23 and 21 on DVOA. How does that across the board get you to far and away, no doubt about it, worst team of all time? Let's take a look at the Panthers. Just a team that everyone seems to love. Let's take a look at the Panthers. The Panthers are 31. Let's see, where are the offensive line? I know they bolstered the offensive line, so they might be relatively high. 11 offensive line, so 31, 11. They were 29 in the ranking. Center, what did I say they were? 22. Secondary, they are 30. Receiving core, they are 26. Linebacker unit, they are, I know I can control F, ladies and gentlemen, I know. Linebacker unit, they're 30. So 30, 26, 30, 22, 29, 11, and 31. That is so much worse. Let's just do we can do the average. Let's do the average. Live. Me and you. Let's do the average. We'll do across the board. 31, 11. This was 29. This was the roster ranking because the Saints were 30. Center, they're 22. Secondary, they are 30. Receiving core, they are 26. Linebacker unit, they are 30. We won't worry about DVOA right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 179 divided by 7 gives them an average ranking of 25.5. I'm going to write that down, ladies and gentlemen. 25.5, all right? Let's do the Saints. From the same, I'm going to actually control F on this one. So Saints here. Saints here. Let's see. Boom. This one's 30. I remember that one. This one's 4. I remember that one. This one, I said I'm going to control F, and then I immediately don't. Look, I'm back at it. This one's 20. This one's 23. This one's 8. Okay. So let's do this one. All right. So 24 plus 22 plus 30. Wait, I messed up. Hold on. What? Let's say, okay. Here we go. 24 plus 22 plus 30. Okay, we're back. Plus 4 plus 20 plus 23 plus 8. They're the 8th linebackers. What gives you 131 divided by 7 gives you 18.7. So if you look at these rankings and average them all out, Carolina averages 25.5. The Saints average 18.7. How does 18.7, how does all of this, all these rankings combined, how can you possibly land on this team being far and away, no doubt about it, the worst team in the NFL? It does not make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. This should be all the evidence you need, ladies and gentlemen, that people look at the Saints, they say, kick the can, salary cap hell, we don't know who the quarterback is, Derek Carr retired, and that's it. And they just say, oop, 32. And just like in the draft, what happens is all of these, let me give you a peek behind the curtain. Let me give you a little peek. All of the big conglomerate news groups, ESPN, Fox Sports, Yahoo, whatever, when it comes time to do the draft or anything like that, they can't do the work. They don't want to do the work. They don't care to do the work. So they wait until one person pops their ranking, and then they copy and paste it and go off of that ranking. And they may move someone up a couple spots, someone else down a couple spots, but they don't stray too far. You're never going to see anything too crazy, right? That's what's happening here. And that's what has happened this whole offseason, where they look at whatever the first rankings were, they build from that, and they go on and go for it. But what happens is nowadays everything is swung. The actual analysis, the actual understanding, the actual research, and it's all in the individual creators. And what happens is these conglomerates put out this absolute garbage. And then it finds its way to me, the best in the business. And then I say, well, hold on a second. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Well, hold on a second. And then we check their asses. And that's the circle of life, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. And here we are again. Now we've got the evidence. Okay? We got the evidence, ladies and gentlemen. We got all these rankings. And they're just throwing these rankings out there, but they're forgetting that they forget that I'm watching. And I'm compiling. And I'm thinking. And I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm seeing 22, and I'm seeing 4, and I'm seeing 20, and I'm seeing 23, and I'm seeing 8, and I'm seeing 24, and the math just ain't mathing. So here's the question for you today that I pose to you. And this, I just ate dinner, ladies and gentlemen. I did a back and biceps workout today. I had, for dinner, I'm in a bulking sesh. I'm trying to get back up to my numbers. So I had 6 chicken thighs, half a cup of rice, really probably closer to a cup of rice, 3 eggs, had, what else did I eat? Who the hell even cares? So I'm really fueled up. Here's my question to you. What are the Saints really, really bad at? Think about that. What are they really bad at? What are they so bad at that you can be like, they are 32nd in the NFL? They're the worst team in the NFL. I can only think of one thing. And that's their interior defensive line. Their run defense. That's it. The quarterback position is a unknown. Complete unknown. We know just as much about Tyler Shuck as we do about Cam Ward. We don't know how they're going to play. All right? We just don't know. So you can put in/A, you can put incomplete, you can, TBD, whatever. But you can't say Tyler Shuck is the 32nd quarterback in the NFL until we see him play. You cannot grade these players until you see them actually play. Because there's no substance in it at all. Like their ADP, their average draft position, doesn't matter at this point. All right, we're actually trying to handicap the teams and the players. So you can't say quarterback until we see it. I just showed you offensive line, playmaker rankings. I've showed you wide receiver. I showed you secondary. I showed you receiving core. I showed you linebacker unit. Showed you the DVOA. You see the metrics. You see the numbers. There's not a 32 anywhere. There's not even a 31. It's all below average. That's it. Hopefully, this calms some of this copy and paste that we're seeing that's just throwing the Saints at 32 because it's starting to grind my gears, ladies and gentlemen. But there you go. When this came out, I always scroll to the bottom when these rankings come out. I scroll to the bottom because I'm like, oh, well, the Saints are probably 32 because all I've been seeing is that they are the worst team in the NFL. And then I'm like, okay, I'm seeing Tennessee, I'm seeing Carolina, I'm seeing the same teams over and over again. I never see the Saints. And I have to scroll into the low 20s to find the Saints. And so then I'm left thinking, well, what's going on here? And I know I'm picking on Carolina, but Carolina sucks. But, man, if I'm a Carolina Panther fan, first of all, I've never met one. But if I'm a Carolina Panther fan, and I'm seeing me at 32 or 31 or 30 in every single ranking that comes out, I'd be a little concerned. I'd be a little concerned here. If I was the 32nd ranked defense last year in DVOA, here's a little spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. If you're the 32nd defense in the NFL last year, you want your next season's rankings to be much higher because you want your team to be addressing that side of the ball. Okay? So Carolina is 32nd last year, the only team in the NFL to give up 500 points, by the way. And now they're entering this season with the 30th linebacker group and the 30th secondary group. Not good. Not good. Oh, well, it's okay because Bryce Young's going to take a step forward, right? That's all we've been hearing. Okay, well, he has the 26th receiving core, and he's got the 31st Playmaker group. All of a sudden, the walls are closing in, right? Now, this is where I really get befuddled. Because up until now, I just gave myself goosebumps. And this is where I get befuddled. Because up until now, I've been hearing the Saints are dropping to the bottom of the ocean like the Titanic. By the way, I used to work with the great Dr. Bob Ballard, who discovered the Titanic. Not a big deal. The Saints have been dropping, right? They're 32nd. And I keep hearing the Panthers are going to compete, and Bryce Young's going to take a step forward, and this team's in the right direction, and this team's moving forward, and all this stuff. But then I look at this, and it doesn't add up. So someone's wrong, ladies and gentlemen. All right. There you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.